Welcome to the Worn and Wound podcast. I'm Kat Shoulders. I'm the media production manager here at Worn and Wound, and I'm joined today with Patrick, Zach,
hello,
and Thomas.
Here in person, we're all here in person.
We're all here.
It's so weird to see each other in physical form.
Yeah, it is a bit odd. I'm very thrown off right now. I don't even know where I am. But this is a fun Friday episode here at Worn and Wound. We are ending the day. We've got a couple of drinks and beers on the table here and water.
Just to stay hydrated. Yeah.
And we've got some hot takes we're going to discuss and some things we're into. We don't know where this conversation is going, so
this is a summer Friday.
Summer
Friday. This is casual summer Friday watch chat. I think.
Yeah,
sounds good to me.
Should we discuss what everybody's wearing really quickly?
We should. That's what we do.
That's typically what we do.
So cliche.
I know this is like the second podcast of the day, but
what shoes we're wearing instead?
Oh,
would you like that?
Let's do that. Yeah, let's switch it up.
Now that Blake's not here.
All right. Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
So I've got some Nike Air Max. I don't know what edition they are, but they're white and gold. Poor choice. I don't know if I'm going to do white sneakers again because they just they get super dirty.
I just bought white sneakers, and the only reason I'm returning them, I bought a pair. I'm not wearing them, but I was going to wear them, and I'll say what they are. They're Camper Pew Stadium Edition ankle cut boots, and I tested them in person, and I really like them.
They're white boots?
They're white leather, sustainable too. It's all recycled material. So I bought them and I tried them on in person, like the short cut, but the ankle cut, for some reason, it's not wide enough for my foot, unfortunately. And they don't make a bigger size than 13, which is crazy. But I'm wearing New Balance right now. Yeah.
Sorry. So Air Max, New Balance.
I'm wearing Nike Kill Shots. Awesome. The green ones. They're beat to hell.
Those actually look, so those are white, but they look good.
They do.
They look
when
good
they're
up.
roughed up.
Yeah. So
got patina.
I disagree. I think they look like trash. Beat up. And I have I have a fresh pair. Okay. I bought blue ones, which I haven't worn yet because I'm waiting for these to literally fall apart.
Did you buy them at the same time?
No, I replaced them.
Okay.
I bought them relatively recently. They're just sitting in a box waiting for me.
Got you.
Maybe I'll get into them this weekend.
I do think they look good though.
These will have to survive a trip back to New Hampshire.
I think those. I've seen a lot of people wear the white version of those, and I think they look really good when they've got
patina
marks.
Yeah. They're just they're really very comfortable. I wear them because I like the way they look, but I wear them for comfort.
And the name Kill Shot is
like
a cool name.
Right? Yeah. I didn't know Nike had a kill shot.
Yeah.
Sounds like a DC supervillain or something.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a J. Crew Nike collab.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
that's
really?
That's what that is. Yeah.
Ooh.
Kill Shots. Yeah.
And that's
deep
even
cut.
more out of left field for J. Crew to do a kill shot.
The green ones are a collab. I don't know. I think the other ones.
The blue ones are just
you can get from Nike.
Yeah.
Maybe you can the green ones. I don't know. I'm not a sneaker
deep cut kill shot.
Yeah. What are you wearing?
So I have on. They're actually G-Star Raw. They're a denim company, but they actually make shoes as well. Cool. So I'm rocking a pair of derbies. I'm a derby guy. I think derbies are a casual take on you could do more things in it. It's got a thicker sole. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to it's not dressy. So it's it's comfortable. It kind of fit in more casual settings and whatnot. And this is in audio format, but it is.
We'll take pictures of our
It's got this.
Oh man, are we gonna have to do? That's not a.
We're gonna do a
style of photography on
Cassie's desk. Just throw our feet up. Do you mind?
Yeah, a shoe shot or ankle shot, whatever you're gonna call it.
Hashtag shoe shot.
Right. But it's got a plume. Purpley leather to it. So that's what I'm rocking.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
I've been super into, and I haven't ordered them yet, but the Blundstones.
Blundstones, I got a pair of those too.
I really want a pair, and now that we're going into fall, I feel like it's a good time to.
And they actually released a new version of the Blundstones where the sole is thicker. It's supposed to be more comfortable. But I got a pair of those.
Yeah.
Those are the best wear at the airport because you could slip them on and off. You don't have to be the guy.
Pre-check.
Well, I know. I got to level up in life. And then
I've gotten so spoiled coming here. I'm wearing a belt that always goes off. And I don't know. I get really bougie about it because I'm I paid for pre-check and I gotta take my belt off.
Right.
I am usually not
outrageous.
That person.
So
I just get so upset. I'm I don't want to take anything off. That's why I paid.
Sorry to go ahead.
No,
keep going. I was gonna say, so on that topic, do you guys wear your watch through the
I've got a good take on this.
Okay, all right.
I used to take it off, and then I remember I was with Blake when we were going to San Francisco, and I'm like, "Are you wearing yours?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. Wear your watch through. Do not take your watch off through security.
Okay.
If they ask to see the watch, if they ask you to put it on the little belt or whatever, just tell them you'd rather get the wand. Like don't take your because like I would not recommend taking your if it's a valuable watch. Especially,
right.
Like,
I used to, but it feels weird throwing that next to your sneakers.
Yeah.
Like a lozenge. You're like, oh god.
I've never had the watch like go off though.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But sometimes they'll want to check it, like, maybe there's like something under it or whatever that you're trying to sneak through. And like, obviously, like they got to screen you, but like they don't have to do it by like, making you put your watch on the conveyor belt. You can get like a pat down or whatever, or the wand.
Are you saying, Zach, not to put it on the belt because of someone taking it? Is that your worry? Or?
So that's not something I personally worry about. I obviously have heard horror stories. I'm sure most people have heard horror stories about watches like disappearing on the belt. But like, I'm with you, Patrick. I just don't want it like. Next to my sneakers.
It's out of sight for
it's
like a few minutes.
Yeah, I would just rather
imagine that thing just like falling through a little like sliver, like or crevice or crack in the machine, and now it's in the machine, and it's just like.
I had an item fall off the conveyor recently when I was with Nellie, and Nellie was like, "Where did your hat go?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, you're right."
Slip through
I had to
the
go
rollers.
back. Well, yeah, they had to like fish it out. Because it got swept by the little, how it has those tassels, whatever.
Did you guys, random topic, because why not?
Yeah.
Summer Friday.
Summer Friday. Hashtag Summer
the
Friday.
rollers that are on that belt. Like, did you ever go to like playgrounds as kids that had those as slides? Those rollers?
No, sounds
like a Southern thing.
It sounds like torture. That doesn't sound funny.
They recycled conveyor belts.
There was like this indoor playground as a kid, and they had them all over, and there was like Play Zone or DC or DK Play Zone. I can't remember what it's called.
I vaguely remember that.
It was like what's that Wipeout game? That show? It's like a bunch of like bouncy things.
It's like Chuck E. Cheese on steroids. It's
for almost like gymnasts.
Yeah, not kids.
But they had slides that were those things, and I remember like my foot getting caught and like socks getting like caught and just like going off. Yeah, it was a very bad design, but I just didn't know if anyone else had that.
No, I can't recollect.
I guarantee that's probably why
slid down a rubber.
No longer exist.
Right. I've actually had. So on the topic of shoes and conveyor belts, like I've had a shoelace get stuck in an escalator.
Were you the
when I was a kid?
They had to hit the stop button.
They did,
Where
and
is
like
the stop button.
It should be at the top or bottom.
Well, that's good to know. I don't even know where that is.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like a kid, and it was like an escalator in a hospital. And like they had
you're in the right place.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that thing
happened right there. Where did this happen?
What?
A minute ago. This kid was leaving the hospital with his mom.
Yeah, it just totally annihilated my shoe. So
you're fine now.
So make sure,
new anxiety unlocked.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Have your shoes tied.
That's always been like one of those horror stories. I always think about that too.
Yeah.
I always look at my laces when I go on an escalator. I'm super conscientious. It was a horror. I remember watching some horror movie and it happened to someone. They just like shred.
Right.
I'm like, God, that's horrifying. That's a horrible way to go.
Yeah.
And then you're in front of people, and then they have to wait for you. And New Yorkers would just be upset. Like, you gotta die in front of me today. You had to choose this escalator. People would just get upset with you if you were in the middle of a life-threatening situation.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we just want to keep jumping on random topics.
Yeah. Sure.
When I went to New York for the first time, when I moved here, I was auditioning for different colleges, different theatrical schools in the area. And speaking of people inconveniencing others, I remember one of my trains. I was going to Fordham University to make an audition. I made it in time, but the train had stopped for 10 minutes. And then all I remember was a guy walking between the cars, which you're not supposed to do, but if you're a New Yorker, who cares? And he's like, someone had to go and die in the car up ahead. And I'm like, oh my God, there's like a homeless guy who passed away in the car up ahead. And like, that's why everyone was inconvenienced. But this guy had the gall to like complain about it to everyone. It was like I'm like, man, this is New York, huh?
Yeah, that is
cool.
Yeah,
I'll take a cab.
Greatest city in the world.
I know, it was so upsetting though. But yeah, here inconveniences are not tolerated. Apparently, I mean that was just one jerk, but
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I feel like I slow people down on the sidewalk. I walk too slow. It's like zooming by.
Do you look behind? You're like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I am. It's like we take things a lot slower where I live. Yeah,
Really?
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Everything's bigger. Everything's slower in Texas.
yeah.
Is that what they say? Hi, but isn't that their slogan? Like
But she's not in Texas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because it's just the South. You just
it's all one.
like
Texas, Tennessee, they both start with T. So
exactly.
Isn't there like a map that someone's posted? It's like New York, New England, and then like the rest of the country is like all pretty much.
What's Tennessee's slogan then?
What's our slogan? That's a great question.
Do you have one?
Oh, I mean, we're the volunteer state.
Okay.
I guess that's the
so
slogan.
you'll take any slogan.
Yeah.
So long as we're willing. Okay.
Pretty much.
We had an IT. We wanted to jump on to hot takes today, right?
Yeah. Let's jump into it.
Let's
watch related hot takes.
Yeah.
We've got we don't know what it is.
We should talk about
Zach
watches.
hasn't disclosed this with us. So
Well,
what's
so we're starting with me. We're
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll start with you because I don't know what mine is.
okay. So it's summertime. People are on vacation. I don't know if you guys have seen in your Instagram feeds, people,
other people,
other people enjoying their summers on vacation,
enjoying their summer Friday.
Yeah, and they're if they're a watch person, maybe they are taking wrist shots in front of like notable landmarks. Like maybe you're like at the Colosseum in Rome and just like snap a wrist shot of your watch in front of the Colosseum.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Or the Statue of Liberty, because nothing says New York like a watch in front of the Statue of Liberty. Right. I think this is the lowest form of Instagram watch photography, and it's got to stop. Nothing says I'm distracted from what should be an enjoyable family moment, more than hang on, honey, let me just get a wrist shot of my watch in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Honey, we're gonna be late to dinner. Just one more shot.
So anyway, that's my hot take. Sorry, but
that's a
I agree
good
with
hot
that.
take.
I concur.
Yeah. I feel like I used to be that way when I like really got into the whole Instagram thing and
Snapping in front of landmarks.
or at least snapping on vacation.
Okay.
And making sure that I was like, I would have more watch photos than I would like other photos of the vacation.
So like, I would love to see your photos, just anyone's photos of the Eiffel Tower or the Colosseum or
Just not if
whatever.
you're watching it.
Yeah, but just like I don't know, like maybe like take a photo and like convey that like you're enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
And like that, like your watch is not like the center of the universe. Like there's things that
So
are
your gripe
more
is
important.
specifically though, when you're taking photos of landmarks, take a photo of the landmark, and then you can take wrist shots of other things.
I just wonder what is going to go through your mind 20 years from now when you're reviewing photos of your trip to wherever. Yeah. Maybe it was the only time you got a vacation, like you went on vacation to Europe or something. And every photo is a photo of your
watch
in front of Big Ben or something.
Oh, man. I love this.
It's already,
actually
it's already a clock.
The Big Ben one, I retract. The Big Ben one might actually be kind of fun, but because it's a clock. But
nothing else.
Curious. I agree. I mean, I think that at large, people just need to put their phones down and enjoy experiences in the moment. I am very much, I don't touch my phone when I'm out with people or I'm on vacation. And Allie, my fiance, she hates that. She's like, do you mind taking a photo of us or do you mind doing this? And I'm like, I'm so reluctant because I'm like, I'm more interested in just being in the moment here than I am of doing anything else. And taking that a step further with watches, I don't do wrist shots anymore. It's like, I feel like this is a very personal thing for me now. Collecting is very personal for me. Like I don't share watch related content because my journey is just my own. And obviously it's different for you.
No, I really, I feel the same. Like my Instagram is made up of largely wrist shots. And I kind of find my own Instagram to be really boring. Like I don't, I don't think it's all that interesting. I just kind of do it out of habit now, but I'm with you. I think that it's good to kind of put the phone away and just enjoy.
I don't know,
watches on your own terms.
I enjoy the bagels and coffees.
I do try to mix it up with the bagel or something every once in a while. Yeah.
Well, and Zach, you recently had the story about buying that Seiko and not posting it too, and that's something I've kind of thought about recently is not sharing, because Patrick, like you said, you just don't share that.
They're all secret watches.
Yeah, they're all secret watches. But I think that's a great philosophy.
That's why I suggested talking about shoes. I don't want people to know what I'm wearing that day. That's interesting though. Your thoughts on vacation photography wrist shots?
You know what? Like, I have seen people, like, they'll shoot the watch and the background's like blurry. And then
you don't even know what it is.
Yeah. And then like they'll do the next slide is like the watch is blurry and then like the background is in
slide.
So like, does that make it okay?
And when I did post, that's what I would do. But I would do the setting and then the watch in the setting, and I'd try to frame them up the same. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. So you can appreciate, the Grand Canyon. And then maybe you'll appreciate my auras.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe you'll like what I'm wearing today.
Right.
But yeah, that was just to tickle my own fancy.
Like, so when I was on the Citizen trip that I went on recently, and just being in that plane, the seaplane, the Cessna 185 Skywagon, like, I just felt weird, like obviously I'm there, we're working, we're covering the event, but like, I just thought it would just be weird to have the watch like up and through, like with like, the glaciers and mountains and this like dramatic landscape. It just felt weird to me. Mm-hmm. And like,
well, your work was so much better because you had like photographs of just like the natural world and not filled with like watches,
right? Exactly.
Detract from that.
Exactly. Yeah. So me personally, I mean, I do, I do kind of like look sideways, like when I see it like scroll through my feed. But me personally, I just, shoot whatever's there, and then like just occasionally, like, hey, this is what's on wrist type of thing.
You just gave me a genius idea for a wrist shot though from an airplane. If you just photoshopped it so it looked like your arm was outside the plane and you're looking through like the little porthole window and your arm is just there.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be like staggering to see.
How did he get that shot?
Right.
Amazing shot, man. Wow.
Yeah.
How's the clown doing? Is it still on the wing? Your thoughts on vacation?
I don't know. This is a tough one. I'm not bothered by it when I see it, but I agree that it's like kind of tacky to do. And most of the wrist shots I have are just like me sitting at home, and I just like feel like, oh, this is like good lighting or whatever, and I'll just take a shot.
Yeah.
But I think it's a bit weird when you're like on a vacation, you're enjoying time with others, or you're at a special event, and then I never think like I want to take a photo of my watch right now. And also, I don't like drawing attention to myself in these like tourist places.
Thing.
Yeah, man. Like, what are
how important is that watch? I wonder.
It's like really like influencers in the wild, like just seeing people like taking photos of their wrists. And
yeah, and like I said, I just don't want to ever draw attention. Like even if I'm wearing a more affordable watch, I don't want to draw attention to it.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. It is weird. That's a good hot take.
Yeah.
Thanks. If every once in a while I have a decent hot take.
Yeah.
Had to happen eventually.
Any more hot takes from?
I've got one on this corner of the world. And I was only thinking about this a moment ago. I feel like I have several hot takes when it comes to watches, but I'm not really fond of seconds. Like, I like a watch that hacks, but I don't like, because in my mind, the way I compute this is like if my watch hacks and I have the capability to line up a minute hand landing with a minute when the second crosses 12, it needs to cross, that second hand needs to cross 12 as the minute hand lands on the minute. Otherwise, my OCD will bother me, and I'll have to. This watch is one of those watches where I have to reset it several times.
What watch do you have on, by the way?
Exactly.
All right, go. Sorry.
It's a Bear Mono Pusher Cub, and I'll go to set it, and it really bothers me when that pointed minute hand doesn't line up with a minute as the second crosses. And what would alleviate that is just not dealing with seconds. Because I got to tell you,
so just do
I don't look at the second hand. It's a second subdial. So if I were to remove that second, I'm like, maybe if I just went in, because I have the tools, like I could just remove the second hands from all my watches, and I never have to think about it again, and I'd be happier. Because it's one less thing I'd have to consider in my head. It's just one of those mental blocks. I must have a condition, but it's like, it's always bothered me. It always bothers me when the second hand and the minute don't align. So I'd rather just do away with them. Yeah, I'd rather, and me on a personal level, like I can do without second hands.
Yeah,
not needed for any instance really.
Yeah,
like, I'm never looking for the seconds unless I'm looking for the alignment of my minute hand, and then I look at the seconds.
I think for me, it's more so like, it's like soothing to me, like seeing the seconds hand like go around. I think it's sometimes when like there's certain watches like a JLC Reverso, like I kind of just like wonder like, is it working?
Yeah,
like that kind of thing.
And
like,
I know that comment someone will mention this. Yes, the seconds hand is a good indicator as to whether your watch is running.
Right.
Right. And I think that's fair. If it's like running too fast or running too slow, you can indicate that with the seconds hand.
Right.
God, this Reservoir has this dive watch that's really cool where there isn't a running seconds hand. They just put a little wheel that has like a color, like sort of a fan effect where the wheel spins and you can see the color spinning, and it's actually very legible underwater as well. So if you just need to see that your watch is running, you just look at the wheel. And I would maybe I'll just put a colorful wheel on all my seconds, hands instead. And that's a cool, I think that's the most logical reason for having a second hand, just to see if the watch is running. Other than that.
Right.
What's the other brand that doesn't do a seconds hand?
Ming doesn't use seconds hands.
There's another
famously.
one.
There's a couple like Cartier,
Meister.
some of their
Yeah.
quartz watches.
Meistersinger makes
They do
one-hand watches.
One-handed
so,
watches. Okay.
Yeah,
Just
That's
the
maybe that's what I'm
seconds
thinking.
it's just one hand. It makes a full rotation around the dial every 24 hours.
Okay.
I guess.
I would love that. Just the seconds.
60 seconds.
That would be
anti
very confusing.
43 seconds past the minute. Very most useless watch. I would love that.
Yeah.
That's an April Fool's watch. Like,
Yeah,
That sounds like a
exactly.
Moser project or something.
It would
Yeah.
be.
only
Like
the
they made a watch without any hands. Maybe they make a watch
Yeah.
with just a seconds.
There you
Did
go.
they make an authentic no hand watch?
They made
And not like a jump out or
they made a minute repeater tourbillon, I believe, with no hands. So you activate the minute repeater, it tells you what time it is, but you don't have hands on the watch to tell
Yeah.
you.
Oh, it's kind of gnarly.
Just when you
That's
want
such
to
a
know.
flex, man.
Yeah. My watch doesn't have hands.
Yeah.
Does this bother anyone else? Second hand alignment, or is that just me?
No, just you. For me. Yeah.
Alignment
I like the seconds
definitely,
hand.
like if I notice like bad alignment, that definitely bothers me, but it has to be pretty bad for me to notice. I mean, I think if you like took a loop to your watch, almost any watch, you'd probably find like imperfect alignment at some point, just because humans put these things together and they, they're not necessarily perfect. But if it's a misalignment that you can easily see, like with the naked eye, that would probably get under my skin at a
And
certain
you'd
point.
stop and like reset the watch to make sure that.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Okay. I do. I'll reset my watch like several times, 3 or 4 times, until I see that it lands perfectly. And that's why I'm not even bothering setting this watch right now. It's not my watch is not set. It's because I know it's tricky as heck to get this watch set up perfectly. But now, like, the minutes are landing. It's not telling the time, but the minutes are landing when the seconds are crossing.
So what's more important, that the minutes land or that it tells the time?
Neither.
There you go.
I just enjoy looking at it, really. Provided the hands are moving and it's working,
Yeah.
that's great. But I honestly just love looking at it. I could go handless and still enjoy looking at this watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like Andy Warhol, man. Andy Warhol wore a Cartier tank that he never set.
Yep.
Oh, facts?
Just like wearing it. I get that though. And I think it's like jewelry almost, where it's just something to wear and something to have on, even if it's not working.
Yeah.
I guess
I get
treat my
that.
watches that way. It's funny.
You should enjoy watches however you want to enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy your watch, I think.
Exactly. With or without seconds, or just with seconds, whatever floats
Or
your
not
boat.
setting them at all.
Yeah. Well, I used to be really picky about setting and making sure the hands were aligned when I set it, and now I don't care. I pop it out and move it as close as possible. Sometimes I even move it. I'm still one of those people that puts my minute hand like ahead a minute, and I know it doesn't matter. Like I'm never running behind, but like. Makes me feel good to know I have like a minute extra than I think I do.
Right. Yeah.
Curious.
Most of the
Yeah.
time.
So you feel like you still have time to like get to
Yeah,
wherever
if I'm like trying to get to a meeting or a Zoom call or whatever, and I'm making coffee, I'm like, okay, I got a little buffer there. so
Right.
I'm okay.
Right. Yeah.
But you acknowledge the buffer. So it's almost like.
Depends. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
I like to know exactly how late I am.
I set mine 5 minutes back.
Yeah, I don't do it to like alarm clocks and digital.
No, yeah.
But to the mechanical, it's just like,
That's interesting.
What's a half a minute or a minute?
Right.
I mean, I don't know
ahead.
about you, but like the microwave clock and the oven clock is ahead. Like 10 minutes.
Mine
Yeah.
are never set.
I was gonna say you set yours though.
Yeah, like purposely, like 10 minutes
I feel
ahead.
like 1 out of every 10 people set their microwave.
They're just blinking.
So it's just constantly blinking.
My oven clock is right now is blinking, and I literally
That
have
doesn't
never
drive
set
you
it.
crazy. I can't. Stand
mean,
it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't affect me one bit.
It drives a lot of people crazy, apparently, because we are sitting next to the notorious
Oh,
blinking
yeah.
clock
Yeah.
here in the A Weekend Watches studio. And is that the right time? I mean, I'm sure.
Can't
Like,
tell you. I can tell you. I think
is.
it is though.
It is.
Yeah,
It is the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the right time. So yeah, we're all set here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are clearly members of at least the vocal minority also.
Right,
I feel
right.
like a majority is just like
Yeah.
It was like one person that said something. Maybe it's
Maybe.
shout out to you.
Yeah.
you know
Shout out
who
to you
are.
listening. Yeah. Yeah.
Bothered you just enough.
Yeah.
We appreciate it though.
No, it was good feedback.
Yeah.
I set when I stay at like hotels like the one I just stayed at where there's a microwave and if it's blinking, I'll just set
set it.
I
Oh,
just
wow,
set
you set
randomly.
the-
I'll
Yeah.
set randomly like whatever time I just randomly set because I don't like it blinking. I don't know,
okay.
blinking lights just
Have you ever visited a friend's home?
No, I've not gone that far.
Do you have the manual for your oven? Can I just see it really quick? Okay, I have to hold broil and then I gotta move the knob this way.
Right.
Oh man.
Okay. No, that's interesting though. But you do set yours at a hotel. That's fair. If it's like your living arrangement, you want it to not be in view.
It's annoying.
Is this someone's hot take or is this?
I don't know where this came.
I don't know. Where
I think
we
we're still
at?
on the seconds.
Yeah. We're
Oh,
still-
yeah.
Yeah.
It's still yours, man.
Seconds and digital clocks. Like, those are really good. I mean, unless your digital clock has a seconds. By the way, ever since the Mac OS was updated to allow for seconds to run at the top right corner of the screen, I always put the seconds running.
I didn't know that it had that option.
Yeah, and they do that now. So now I know when to push my crown in for the perfect hack. I'm on Cupertino time. But no, that I love that function. I do like running.
They're gonna put time.gov out of business.
I still use time.gov on my phone, but if I have my laptop out, I just look at that as a reference when I'm setting the time. I'm
Right.
assuming time.gov is probably more accurate, but
Yeah.
Questionable.
Yeah. I guess I got like a medium take. It's not. I don't. I guess it's just a question.
medium rare take.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's a question like
preferable.
just again back to like the whole like traveling thing. Like, if someone is wearing a watch that you recognize on a plane, like, do you go out of your way to like ask? Like, okay, so they've got headphones in, or do you wait for like the right moment and you're just like,
They're handling their kid.
right?
They
You're just
dropped
like,
the bag.
Yeah.
It fell on someone.
Yeah.
You just really have to.
so if it's an Omega Globemaster you see from across the aisle, are you mentioning like, hey, like, nice watch?
Only that I've ever seen one in person, I would be interested to talk to that person as to why they purchased the watch.
Okay.
Because I'm interested in
Right.
one, clearly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
'Cause you're
I've
on
had, I've had that like blow up in my face a few times.
You're trapped with that person for the next however many
Well, that's
hours
what I'm
you're
saying.
on that flight. So that's the risk that you're.
It's the equivalent of
You're
like
taking.
when you're departing, like when you're hanging out with someone, you're like walking in the same direction. So it's just like,
Yeah.
all right, like, well, we
It's a
had,
good,
yeah, we had
If it's an
the
hour-long
conversation,
flight
right?
as opposed to an 8-hour-long flight, would you ask someone on an hour-long flight? Like,
So
knowing
I
that you're only trapped
probably I probably wouldn't do it at all because I'm just like such an introvert. I don't want to talk to someone about their watch when I'm not,
If you don't have to.
Seriously, just like let me like get through this flight.
Yeah.
I think the move is to just like politely say like nice watch and just see if anything comes from that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I always wonder when you comment on someone's watch out in the wild, like if they
Or
like
actually
they
a
might not
watch
be like
person.
they're like the chances are actually probably pretty good that they're not a watch person at all. If you just look at like the number of watches that are sold
Yeah.
versus the number of people who are like actively engaged in like any given watch community. So like they probably like realize it's a nice watch. They might like the watch, but they might not be able to like carry on a conversation about watches, which is your dream apparently
Yeah.
when you say like nice watch, like
when
nice.
when it blew up in my face, and I hate to oust these people, but it was a Rolex guy, and he didn't know what he was wearing, and it was a Jubilee bracelet, Pepsi GMT when they'd just come out, and it was just, I think it was literally just a status. It was in the middle of it was one of these trains. It was the Green Line here in Manhattan. And I went up, I'm like, that's an awesome GMT, man. He's like, huh? I'm like, your watch. I like your watch. He's like, oh, yeah, I guess, thanks. I didn't know it's a GMT. I'm like,
yeah.
The vast majority of those watches are not sold to like enthusiasts or collectors.
That's what killed me though. And that's why I don't bother asking, because I'm like, well, they may or may not care.
Yeah, but I think there's something like really nice about someone that's wearing it and doesn't even like
appreciate it.
Not that they may appreciate it in a different way though. He may really love wearing that watch all the time, but like maybe he doesn't care that it's a GMT and he just wears it to wear it. That's again cool. As like an object, as a piece of jewelry or something.
I get that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you ask though? Do you ask? And this, I'm sorry, was this exclusive to planes?
No. Well, just I guess in general, just because like my recent experience. Yeah, exactly. My recent experience. Like there's just the other day we were hanging out. Like there was a guy at the bar rocking a Breitling Emergency. I didn't ask.
Yeah.
But it's like watch spotting. But like I guess if
what would be fun with that guy is to be like, ever have to pull the pull the cord?
Or maybe just slowly try to do it.
Because he has to know. Like that's a watch that you have to know.
Yeah, that's not a watch that you just randomly pick up without.
I just thought it looked cool. That tube at the top.
What's this little spinny thing?
Yeah.
You're just like at the bar, just secretly.
Yeah. Do the vintage ones still work? I'm sorry, this is a complete aside.
No,
I know they make modern ones, but I feel like they've changed how the frequency is sent or whatever.
I mean, the oldest ones are from the 90s, so they're not really vintage yet.
Okay.
I think they're from the 90s. I believe they still work.
Wow, that's so cool. Take that.
I could be wrong. Someone will correct me in the comments.
Apple
My understanding is that they still work.
Yeah.
Cool. So you met this guy. Well, you didn't.
No, well, I didn't. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying in like general, like, I guess I just wait for like the right situation, or the right timing, like maybe on a plane where, we're just like on the way out, so then this way it won't be like part ways and there's nothing else to say. And this person's like, hey man, like, go kick rocks, like I'm just like ready to go, that type of thing. But
it also depends too on like what the watch is. Like if it's I mean, Rolexes are everywhere. So commenting on someone's Rolex, like you're very likely to get a, like a what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But if it's like a really interesting vintage watch or like some crazy independent watch or something like that, then I would be more inclined probably to start a conversation or something.
Yeah. Have you guys had anyone like just come up to you just randomly like, hey, like nice whatever, and then I feel like I'm more inclined to like start the conversation at that point. Like,
I've never had anyone randomly, other than like when I was a PTA, like patients telling me like, because I would literally be like working on their hand, massaging them. Like, that's a really cool watch.
Right. Yeah.
And so that was the only time I really got compliments.
Yeah.
Or, people asking me.
Yeah.
But,
would you ever like tilt your wrist up? So that you're just like,
hey.
No, not at all.
Right.
Not at all.
Right.
I remember like the only time I can remember someone commenting on my watch in a positive way was
in a positive way. So in a negative way, they're just like, man, that thing is
maybe
disgusting.
They're mocking me behind my back or something. I can remember very clearly I was picking up like a takeout order at a pizza place in my neighborhood, and I'm signing the receipt, and the guy says, that's a really nice watch, and I was a Nomos. It was a Nomos club that I owned at the time. I no longer have, and I said, thanks, it's a Nomos, and he didn't respond at all, and it made me think, well, what does he think I just said? Like, he probably has no idea. Like,
right. Yeah.
But he liked Nomos, so good for him. He has good taste.
Good taste. Really good taste. Yeah. Unless it's just like his line for anyone who comes through the door.
Yeah, man, that could be it.
Nice watch. I'm not wearing one.
I think it's like it's so flattering when someone calls out your watch. I love when people ask me about my watch.
As long as they're not trying to steal it.
Yeah.
What is that?
What is that?
Yeah. I guess it's always something to worry about, but yeah.
Not intended.
I think it would be. I don't know.
I don't know. Either.
Word's getting out. Word is getting out.
That's right.
But yeah, I think it's a nice thing if someone were to comment on the watch.
Maybe we should make an effort to do that more often and put that out into the world. That's right. Put that energy out into the universe so that people are more friendly.
Compliment one person a day, one person's watch.
Yeah. I've certainly commented on people's watches before.
Train, plane, automobile, it doesn't matter.
Random places, restaurants. Okay. I've had a waiter that had an Explorer 2, a Polar Explorer.
My courier, this guy, shout out Veer Enterprise, Queens. He has a vintage Rado he wears all the time. It's got it's like plated gold, and it has like these sort of quartz crystals that sort of it's supposed to resemble rubies in the hour markings. But it's such a handsome watch, and it looks really good on him. And I commented on it. I complimented his watch, and I could tell it brought a smile to his face because he wears it every day. Like it's the watch for him.
That's cool.
And I like that that's what he chose. And it really fits him too. I feel like it's a good watch for him. It's nice. I think it's nice to pay a compliment. It's nice to get them.
Sometimes you might get a really cool story out of it too, which is like what I really like about it.
You fishing for those ever?
Yeah. Well, yesterday we were visiting the new space for the wind-up, the next wind-up show, and the lighting tech guy that was there had a diamond bezeled Datejust.
Oh wow!
On.
Oh my god! I need to work in lighting. Yeah. What am I doing?
Yeah. And I immediately, even Nelly and me were like, "Whoa!" Like that's. And he was like in a t-shirt and like a plain white t-shirt.
All the
jeans.
money went towards the watch.
Well, and he said he had it for 10 years and he wears it doing like the roughest work. And I think like, how badass is that he's wearing a bejeweled Datejust,
diamonds, harder
working on lighting and sound and all this stuff, and I just think it's cool.
That is kind of dope. Did he have a story for it, or
no? He bought it for himself 10 years ago, and like wears it every day, and it was like really roughed up. Like you can tell he's really like worn the heck out of it, but I think it's really cool.
I love that.
Yeah, no, like that's cool that guy rocked it, but like I don't know, man, diamonds don't belong on a watch.
You don't. Whoa, that's
a hot take.
That is a hot take.
I don't honestly love diamonds either.
Yeah, I don't think they belong.
Compliments isn't a hot take.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I told you that we would get here, right? You just had to like let the conversation circulate. But yeah, diamonds don't belong on a watch. Really? I just don't know why. I just aesthetically,
any precious stone. What about the cabochon on a Cartier crown?
Like, are you talking about like the sapphire?
Yeah, does that
does that count as like a diamond? Is that a diamond?
That's
like a gem.
That's a gem. Well, I mean, any precious stone in my mind on a watch. You're just saying diamonds in particular?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't have a problem with
Rainbow Daytona not in your future.
No. But if someone wants to give me one for free, like I'll gladly wear one. Yeah. So
the Nick Cage special, or what does he have with
the leopard?
The
Daytona,
leopard. Yeah.
That's fantastic watch.
It's so good. Yeah, it is really cool.
I'd say I like the way they look on some people. Like he rocked this watch and it looked amazing on him.
Not to discredit his taste, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But like for me, I wouldn't, only because I don't like drawing attention to myself.
Right.
And so that's why I wouldn't go for a.
Yeah, there's no such thing as an under the radar watch with diamonds.
Stuff. But, that's completely iced out.
Yeah.
Well, if it comes pre-iced, yes. I'm not into people like blinging out watches. That's kind of excessive. That's just like gross amount of wealth, disposable income, people starving, and you're just chilling with that.
Yeah,
it's cool. You earned it. Whatever.
Yeah,
that bothers me.
That's like a courtside watch.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's just what you would see on TV.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I don't have any feelings on. I mean, you were really. I feel like a few podcasts back, you had an impassioned conversation.
I love really nice gem set watch. Like not for me personally, but I think aesthetically they're like.
The example,
especially like awesome, Rolex does incredible.
There's what is it? What do they call it? There's a root beer Rolex GMT Master with a, what do they call it? Surti dial. And it's like, it's always been on my wish list. But again, I'm just so afraid to like wear it because it's like, I don't know. I feel like just everybody would look at my wrist all the time.
Maybe.
But I love that watch, and I like that it's on the root beer too. It's just, I'll show you a picture later.
Root beer GMTs are my favorite. Yeah. Like I forget the reference, but the one with the nipple dial, with the circular markers, like the steel is more pronounced than the lume plots, like those ones. There's a guy at a bazaar. I actually don't want to say what the location of this bazaar is. There was a vendor at this bazaar I went to who was wearing one like a solid gold with that dial arrangement. Those root beer GMTs are easily my favorite. They look so good. I have no qualms with jeweled jewel set watches though, and you pointed out a reference from Rolex's Submariner with like white diamonds and like blue accents that was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I just think the whole world of like Rolex gem set watches. And I forget if I wrote an article about this or if we talked about it on the podcast, but it's just like a really fascinating little pocket of collecting,
Right.
Because basically every sports watch that Rolex makes, they do like a very high end gem set and diamond set version that's like off catalog that they only offer to like, their very best clients, and you very rarely even see them. And I just find it fascinating.
Yeah.
Like the culture around it, like of collecting those watches, and like the watches themselves, I think are very aesthetically beautiful. So
It's cool.
yeah.
It's really cool.
Just not for you.
No, I mean, what happens like when one of them that's like set as like a dial marker, like it just pops off?
Oh, you're screwed.
So then are you rolling around with a watch that just has like a diamond just like rattling around like your like
When you take it for service, do they just have like little baguettes or like the diamonds to go replace them?
Right.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Go to the Diamond District and get you it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any hot takes, Kat?
I don't have any hot takes today.
Really?
No.
Really?
No, I'm
You're just
good.
agreeable up and down.
I wouldn't say agreeable, but I don't have any personal hot takes. Not this round, at least.
Interesting.
She's not agreeable that like you said that she lived in Texas.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah.
I love that you thought the whole time that I live in Texas. That's great.
I have family in Texas.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
That's why.
Yeah.
You thought you were so
Tennessee.
close to Kat. You have family in Texas and the shared history, but no, totally different state.
Oh, yeah.
Any other hot takes from the crew?
I don't know.
Man, I'm hot taked out.
I think we've covered a good range of hot takes there.
Yeah. Well, this has been a fun episode, and you can find us on wornandwound.com, YouTube. I don't know what the YouTube channel is called. Worn Wound Podcast.
It's a safe bet.
Yeah. And follow us along. Leave us a review if you like the podcast. Let us know if you like this Fun Friday episode, and we'll do it no matter if you like it or not.
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't
We're going to shit them
matter.
on Friday, air the one Wednesday.
Right.
Take it.
No, but thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.